challenge. This one's a level 7 Caillou. We're doing it in Python and it's called spinning rings. And as always, you should definitely try the challenge out before watching the video. That's the best way to learn. So there will be a link to the challenge in the show notes if you want to try that. And as always, please like and subscribe. That helps keep me going and helps keep you informed every time I post a new video. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the challenge is we're going to imagine two rings with numbers on them. The inner ring spins clockwise, decreasing by 1 each spin, and the outer ring spins counterclockwise. We start both rings at 0, and we move each one increment. How many moves will it take before both rings show the same number on the top again? Okay, so they give you an example here. You've got the inner max, if inner max is 2, so let's go over to Excalidraw here. We'll clear this out. So we've got a circle. This will be our inner ring. And they said the max on that one is 2, okay? So we start up here at top and we go 0. And then we've got, over here we've got 1. And over here we've got 2, okay? And then on the outer ring, let's take that, we'll move it kind of centered up here a little bit. So on the outer ring, they said that one's 3, okay? So here we'll draw it out, we'll go 0, and then we'll go 1, then 2, and then finally over here, 3. Okay, so what they're saying is that the outer ring spins, let's see, I think the outer ring spins clockwise or counterclockwise, okay? So it's going to spin counterclockwise, which means you'll have 1 up there next, and then 2, and then 3, right? And then finally, the inner ring is going to spin clockwise, so it's going to decrease starting at the max, okay? So the question is how many moves does it take until they line up on the same number again, okay? So in this case, I think the answer they're saying it's going to take 5 moves for the two rings to reach the same number, okay? So you would rotate them each 5 times and then they would line up on the number there, okay? So that's kind of our challenge here. We'll have to note the maxes and reset them back to 0 every time we hit that. So on the inner ring, every time we subtract 1, if we have less than 0, we need to go back to the max. And then same thing on the outer ring, if we increment and we get up to the max, then we need to reset it back to 0. So that's going to be kind of our big trick there. So let's see. We're supposed to return the number of moves it takes for them to line up. So in this case, we'll say that it's however many moves. Okay, so what we'll do is let's train this out, and let's see. We're going to do an infinite loop. So we'll say, while true. I guess it doesn't like the tab here. So while true, what we're going to do is we'll have an inner count at 0. And we'll have an outer count at 0, okay? And so while true, we'll do inner count minus equals 1, outer count plus equals 1. And then we check to see if we have hit the max. So for the inner count, we'll do inner count equals inner count if inner count is greater than or equal to 0, else set it to 0. Okay, so what this is doing is this resets it to 0 if it's a negative number, okay? Otherwise, just leave it to what it is. And then same thing for outer count. So outer count is going to be whatever it is if outer count is less than or equal to the outer max, okay? And then, sorry, here I messed this up. So if the inner count is greater than or equal to 0, we're going to leave it alone. Otherwise, if it's less than 0, I need to set it to be the inner max. So we're almost messed that up. So here, outer count is equal to whatever it was before if it's less than the outer max, else 0. So here I'm setting it to be 0. Okay. So now we can do, let's do an increment. Okay. And so we'll say increments plus equals 1. So we incremented the inner, we turned the inner 1 move, we turned the outer 1 move, we incremented by 1. And so now, if inner count is the same as outer count, we'll return increments. All right, so now we'll, let's test this out and see if we got it to work. Okay, cool. So all the initial tests pass. Let's attempt this one out. Okay, we'll do a full submission. All right, nice job.